Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. Today, we're going to continue on with MSQ and get going on 5.2. Last time, I believe... Well, last time, the only thing I remember is playing as Estinian and doing Estinian things. But I believe last time we figured out that we might be able to cure the people at the, quote, inn in Almarang. And we figured out that it actually could possibly be related and be able to help us to bring our friend's souls back from the first. Anyway, let's get into it. Next quest is started at Tataru and Kryl over here. Let's talk to them and get going. Old enemies, new threats. Kryl is glad for your return, though it remains to be seen if she has glad tidings to share. I want to see more of Kryl. I don't know if she's in Endwalker very much, but like since she was written out of Stormblood pretty much by getting kidnapped and injured, she just wasn't there anymore. Anyway, let's continue on. Brilliant. My, what a pleasant surprise. If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Oh yeah, this guy from the Popularis. Ah, brilliant. It has been far too long, my friend. Forgive me, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador. I've remained here in Eorzea under the auspice of Commander Aldin, offering what counsel I can in hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah, yes. I've heard stories of a defector from Garlemald, but never mind that. You said you have urgent news? Indeed. As you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from the Grimhild Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. Ah, nope, that's not what he said. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor who claims that this de-escalation may belie growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Commander Aldine has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished, and I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, I'll not be attending this meeting alone, though I'm not as well versed in the affairs of city-state as our comrades. I see no reason to burden a single scion with all of this. Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Alamegan corridor with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two. Okay, off to the Alamegan corner. I went in, I actually stocked up on Aetherite tickets recently. Where are they? Should be, yeah, right here. Because I actually finished using them up recently. Let me just put some stuff away. believe, yeah, I want to actually, no, I want to turn this stuff in. Okay. Before we continue, I want to hear how the sound audio is, because last stream's audio was pretty terrible. Yeah, I want to hear how the sound audio is, because last stream's audio was pretty terrible. Yeah, I want to hear... It might be slightly quiet, but it's better to be slightly quiet and sound good than be too loud and sound terrible. Anyway, I said Alamegan Quarter, which is, yep, all the way over there. Only 400? I thought it'd be more than that. Anyway, let's go meet up with everyone and see Raubon again. I don't think we've seen him at all for the entirety of Shadowbringers. Oh, let's get this real quick, actually. Let's see, can I land on it? Or do I have to land up here first? Oops. I always say that I'm actually, or at least I try and say that I'm decent at these, like jumping puzzles. Clearly, I have a little bit to work on. There we go. I do eventually want to do Heaven's Ward on sightseeing points just for completionist's sake, but obviously not right now. We're doing MSQ. Anyway, let's talk to Cryo first. I like to talk to the NPCs in the area if there are multiple for an objective. Much has changed since the first time we set foot in the city. Now we strive to preserve their freedom rather than reclaim it. But we've no time to reminisce. We mustn't keep the commander waiting. Commander Aldine awaits us in the royal palace. If you would follow me. Oh, Gaius is here. Okay.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
No, I've met him several times.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea.
Actually, no, I've only met him once. As the Shadow Hunter.
Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right.
I forgot about that thing, that was creepy.
The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
Oh, yay.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals, with which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended.
Oh, yes. I've run that dungeon a lot of
The weapon
times.
itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandarnus, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea.
Again, oh yay.
We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you.
I mean,
So,
if you
when
say
the
so.
time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days, but it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all, even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friends' plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
Well then. Oh, by the way, Garlemald is making more Ultima weapons. Thanks? That's great news. I mean, how many have I killed running Praetorium? Over and over and over and over? Anyway. As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. You're facing the wrong way. Oh, okay, they're looking that way. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of the new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask you confer with me before returning to the first. What's that quest? Ruby Doomsday. Let me look that up real quick. I don't think we're going to be doing it on stream, but just want to see what it is. Ruby Doomsday. Oh, okay, it's the trials. Not doing that yet. I'll do, the Shadowbringers raid tiers, the Alliance raid, and the trials as their own streams later. Right now, I'm just focusing on 5. I want to get through, I think, 5.3 MSQ before I want to get through enough MSQ patch content to the point where all of it is unlocked. And I'll see when that is. But right now, I'm just planning on getting through 5.3 MSQ before I try and work on those. It does mean I have to delay getting my 2B thigh highs, but I will live. Anyway, let's talk to Kryl and start the next quest. The way home. Kryl can see the steely resolve in your eyes, and suspects she knows to where duty calls you. I take it you are ready to return to the first? Then I would ask you apprise the others of recent events here in the source, namely, Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Brilliant. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. I will stand by the fact that that Lalafels can be cute. Some of them can also be Lalafels. Alright, let's see. We're heading over to speak to the Crystal Exarch in the Ocular. Okay, so we gotta go back to the Crystarium. And then we'll inform them of the situation that's happening in the source. Wonder how they were going to end up the final solution for transporting everyone back to the first, or the source. And will they be able to travel freely between the first and the source? You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul, and a means to return the Scions home. I trust you too have been making good use of your time. Ill tidings from the source, you say? Then I will summon the others, that we might all be apprised of the situation. Let me turn off auto advance. I don't know if this will be voiced or not.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source?
Well, you see, there's this new Ultima. They're making another Ultima weapon. And yeah, that's the news.
A new Ultima weapon? We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion.
Oh, has he made
Thanks
progress?
in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
That seems pretty quick.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And, after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allegan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allegan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
I sure hope not.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness.
Well, I'm right here.
But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
What, you're gonna give a good speech or something? I mean, talking is his strong suit. He's very good at it. Has done a lot. Well, Alphanode, let's head on over and talk to her then. Seeking counsel. Alphanode is eager to assist Captain Lena. I must confess, while I enjoy my fair share of scholarly research, it would be a good step outside for a spot of fresh air. Now, then, shall we go and speak with Lena? V's are so pretty, or Vieira. That's the big reason I chose to switch to a bunny girl. Like, I mean, you can't see because I'm bouncing up and down, but like, I don't know how to describe it. She's over here. She said she was waiting outside. I suggest we hurry. Lena does not strike me as one who enjoys being made to wait. I mean, do you usually make Do you usually make women wait, Alpha Node? That might explain some stuff. We have little time, so I will be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask you for your assistance in slaying it. What? A Sin Eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night had returned, but perhaps we should call the others. That will not be necessary. It is only a single Sin Eater, a simple task for our guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example. Me, why not Alpha Node? Yeah, as if he would be helpful here. Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job. Well, let's head over to Fort Job and see why. Check out the Sin Eater that they seem to be talking about. Wonder if this is gonna be a rabbit hole. Like where we end up finding out that the Sin Eaters have like become immune to night and they can live without being in the light all the time or something. And then we have to figure out how to fully finish them off. The Sin Eaters that remain and no longer have a leader to guide them, but they are no less dangerous. They cannot be suffered to live. If you would wait here for a moment, I will gather the others. This is probably not going to be voiced, because there's a bunch of NPCs. You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight at your side. I was at death's door that day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours had come along, I'd have likely stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. I too was there that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, it filled me with dread. But that is no way to honor her or my comrades, and so I have returned. I swear I will not let you or anyone else down from this day forward. A pleasure to meet you, miss. Truly, it seems like only yesterday I watched as you took flight astride Namaro to go and save the Oracle. Strange to think the Yilmoran soldiers we once locked blades with are now on our side. But we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. We seem to be missing one. My apologies, Captain Lena. An elderly gentleman asked that I escort him to Clearmelt. It took longer than I anticipated. I'll not begrudge your desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to our honored guests. It won't happen again. The name's Thaler. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. I asked you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know, I was already talking to her. Don't give up, don't give in. I kept those words close to my heart, and the boundless, beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. My friend got the knight's return shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what was to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives for the promise of a future they'll never know, and so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. No matter what happens, we won't give up. We won't give in. Your heroism has inspired all our guardsmen in much the same manner. Our scouts in the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting. Hope my voice for her. I'm not really trying to do a voice, I'm just trying to change that. I'm trying to make the beginning and ends of words more articulate, rather than trying to do some sort of accent. I believe for 5.2 MSQ, the new dungeon is towards the end of the storyline. I don't know if we will get to that today. In fact, I'd prefer if we didn't, because that would likely be towards the end of the stream, and I would prefer not to do a dungeon at the very end, because there is a good chance that I will be kind of a bit exhausted. Also, since it's Saturday, every other Saturday, I have to make sure to leave. I have to make sure to stop on time at like 5:15 or 5:30. But until then, we're gonna continue on with MSQ. Anyway, let's talk to these guys. Start with the gallant guardsman. If I hadn't seen him with my own eyes, I'd have sworn it was you who killed that Sin Eater.
Did you slay this Eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
Who could that be?
By himself. Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, right.
So I
okay,
says
it's
to him,
Ardbird
"Who
or...
are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?"
I mean...
And he
Right.
says, "No, I'm a warrior of light." And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
Yeah, because we saw like Ardbird had his body back, if that really is Ardbird.
A warrior of light?
Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood.
I mean, they didn't mean to.
I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be her. The warrior of darkness.
Hey? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
Guess putting
I
extra
had hoped to fight at
articulation.
your side today, but I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I don't think the articulation is the right way for Lena's voice.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat. As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
This is what she didn't want to say in front of the Exarch.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
Are you single?
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating. Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true.
Yeah, he was basically wanting to give his life to help us.
It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man. A younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy. It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there.
That's cute. She kind of sees him as like a father figure, doesn't she?
Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past. Remind him of all the pain that came before.
That's not why he was sad or depressed. Yeah, that's not she's not the cause of his sadness.
Are you sure?
I think he would glad to have her there.
Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work.
Oh, yes.
This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
Old man doesn't know when to take a break. Facing the truth. Her mind at ease, Lena is ready to return to her duties. I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts. I can just teleport. I still haven't broken that habit. All the way back in ARR, when I was still doing the free trial, I ran and flew everywhere. I almost never used my what is it? I almost never used the aetherite crystals to teleport. Because my brain was like, oh, I need to save as much gil as possible. And then eventually, I ended up hitting the 300,000 gil cap and realized, oh, I should, like, actually spend my gil. Of course, you can't see my gil, but I haven't learned to spend my gil yet. Anyway, let's talk to everyone first, and then let's talk to Alpha Node. An adventurer calling themselves a warrior of light. Why would anyone tie themselves to the legacy of individuals held in such low regard in the first? Warriors of light, harbingers of the flood and all the world's woes. That this wanderer would so boldly claim their title is most curious indeed. It is strange to think how heroes so beloved by the people could be brought so low in such a short time. Alpha Node tells me a warrior of light has slain the Sin Eater. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what to make of this. Yes, I was hoping to speak to you about, on second thought, never mind. It would be rude for me to pry. The others were quite shocked to hear what we found in Lakeland. But now that you are here, there is a proposal I should like to make. I've been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people pursuing books on history, the years leading up to the Flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light. As well they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as Sin Eaters, or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that their sudden appearance in conjunction with this renewed interest in their predecessors may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them. I, too, can attest to the falsehoods found within many of the Cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Ardbert and his comrades. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the Flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I am not surprised to see their roles distorted and them painted as villains. Were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, that knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. That said, there still remained those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the Flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Vobert. That such heroes could be spoken in the same breath as Sin Eaters is absurd. Under normal circumstances, I would agree, but as the time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the Flood. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the Warriors of Light to become villains deserving only of resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you to overcome Emetselk, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who know him only as a villain. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of this sacrifice. To that end, I say we proceed with Alpha Node's plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium and recount to them the true tale of the Warriors of Light and the Flood that followed in their wake. Stoic nods. Well, what say you, Brilliant? Say the word, I say. Then we're all of one mind on the matter. Good. Exarch, might I ask you to continue working with Becklug on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium in the Exteria, however you say that. We have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread and more will accompany them. Ugh. There can be no darkness without light, and so it was that Ardbert was there in your hour of need. The people must be told. I have seen many a great and terrible things in my long life, as has the Exarch, no doubt. Of man I can say this: his memory is short, his heart fickle. Let us pray that your words reach him. Oh, let's go gather everyone up. Tell them the real truth. Gotta get some woke individuals in this town. Let's head over to the infirmary first. Brilliant! My, what a wonderful surprise! Though I hope your being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my doors of late. Which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had fewer opportunities to test my new medicines. Granny, maybe you should not do that. Hehe, I jest, of course. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and again. The truth about the Warriors of Light, but the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to that tale, I'd very much like to hear it. Okay. Who's next? We'll go to the bar next. Recently, I started playing Grim Dawn again. Unfortunately, ARPGs really like to aggravate my, carpal tunnel. And it was fine for the first, week of playing, or the first several days. But then there was one, but then I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I ended up pushing through the discomfort, and then the next day my hand was hurting, so I have to stop playing. I had to stop playing that for a bit. I believe there's actually a Steam sale coming up, so I don't actually own the other two main DLCs, so I'm gonna want to pick those up before I start playing again. That also gives me the opportunity to rest my wrist. I don't think I'll actually stream it, just because I'm really not that good at ARPGs, and I also want to primarily stream Final Fantasy XIV for now. I plan to stream other games at some point, but since I only really have 2 opportunities to stream, I want to use the stream time to do more MSQ. I also don't want to do MSQ off stream. That being said, let's continue with that MSQ and talk to Glenard here. Well, to what do I owe the pleasure? Whatever it is, I must ask you to be brief. With the night returned, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind it, though. Seeing the stairs full of life and excitement, one can almost forget the flood ever happened. The Warriors of Light? Yes, the Exarch has mentioned them before, but everyone knows them now as the cardinal virtues. Or are you suggesting there's more to it than that? Well, you've yet to steer us wrong, so I'm willing to hear what you have to say. Okay. Let's head over to the head of the market. I don't remember his name. It's the, Hrothgar guy over here. Yeah, Braggy. That's him. Come to browse wares in the market, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need, whatever it may be. Under Yulmore's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is, the fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor. Did he really? Little wonder business is booming the way it is. I imagine it won't be long before all of Novrun reaps the benefits. But have you not come to talk about the market? Something on your mind? I see. The Exarch did mention they had something to do with their returning the knight to Novrund. All right. Consider my interest piqued. All right, who's next? Curiosities and... Or no, Curiosity is the library. The Crystalline Mean is the market, is the crafter place. Let's head over to both of them. Do the Crystalline Mean first. Once I get all of them together, it'll be about time for a break. But let's get these two guys first. Hello, Catless. Well, well, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from Grendold not long ago. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him at the bottom of the ocean, and that she inspired him to reach new artistic heights. Well, I can only think of one person capable of both feats, though I'd say the latter is far more impressive. Going to the bottom of the ocean is the easy part. To think fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. I'm sorry, you mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left unsaid, I'm all ears. I mean, aren't you an Ellison? No, I think she's a Cure. I can't tell, though. Anyway, let's head over to the library. The Cabinet of Curiosity. Tell the librarian all his books are wrong. No, this can't be. Surely there is at least one book here that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light. Hey dude, why don't you just write one? Oh, Beryllian, forgive me. The Cabinet of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors of late, but I fear our repository lacks for the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the flood, of the Warriors of Light. I have searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than sin eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know they were not always judged so harshly, yet I can find no proof, and I dare call myself a librarian. Now, calm down. You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light, of the Flood. How wonderful! You have regaled me with the tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will not come alone. Now we got the nerd on our side. Let's go back to the Crystal Exarch, or, nope. We're gonna go to the town square and tell everyone they're wrong. But first, let's talk to everyone else. Those I spoke with at the orchard and the rookery were quite keen to hear what we have to say. For as much hope as they have for the future, the scars of the past weigh heavy on them still. 'Tis good to see the people of the Crystarium so eager to learn the truth. And with this newfound knowledge of the past, they will at least be able to look to the future with eyes unclouded. There you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept the Crystarium from top to bottom. Now we need but to wait for the people to gather. Hey everyone, everything you know is wrong. Sure seems like a lot more
This looks to be nearly
NPCs
everyone. Let us begin, shall we?
than we normally see in the Crystarium. Anyway, Alphanode loves hearing the sound of his own voice, so we'll let him do the talking.
Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
Oh no, Alphanode, you're good.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
So you see, these guys were actually really good, and you guys have the wrong history and all that. And the flood wasn't really their fault. Yeah, that's about how it is. Also, there's this guy going around saying he's a warrior of light. If you see him, could you let us know? Okay, thanks.
Wicked White? The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
Sounds like a normal history. Sounds like how history usually plays out.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air.
Oh, what?
Impossible.
Okay, he can see him. Okay. Well, yeah, because the other guy did.
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Oh, right, Alphanode and ghosts.
Nay, yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
Yeah, what does she see?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time. Though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may. People of the Crystarium! I am Ardbert. One of those you know as a warrior of light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the warrior of darkness, is not of this world.
Ardbert, what are you doing?
And the day will come when she must return to her home.
Okay, I see what he's doing.
But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it.
Are these forks? I mean, I think they're supposed to be leather straps, but they look like forks.
It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
That's so cheesy, but it's also fun. It's very, like, it's very...
Warriors of light?
Very like this game.
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
Good speech. But I'm still a bit suspicious. Apparently my character is too.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Yeah. That would be the best course of action.
I will stay here and watch.
This is really suspicious. Like, who is this? What is this?
So, that is a warrior of light of the first. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
Looks like him, sounds like him, but it isn't him.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
Please share, Riandre.
That he is an Ascian.
Yep. That's gonna be the other option.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree. From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus.
But
That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known.
yes, but we also know...
Thus evicted from his borrowed form and cognizant no doubt of Emet-Selk's failure here in the first.
Okay, hold on. There was a second person that approached Xenos at the end of the 5.1 cutscenes. We have no idea who that is yet, but it's probably not Elidibus. Then we have Ardbert, who we're pretty sure is not Ardbert. But this doesn't seem like a kind of plan that Elidibus would do. And I believe there is also at least one other Ascian that we have not accounted for. That being the 13th member that left the council at Amarat before the Sundering. So basically, I have no idea who is who, but I don't think it's Elidibus. Anyway, please continue, Rianji.
It is quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen. My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Ninfilia and the Warrior of Light.
That's an old cutscene.
On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. It was only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
And they have gained much by it. Emet-Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while the Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion. Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Yeah, why can't an Ascian
Whatever the
just
reason,
come
I
up
hope
and
it holds
resist?
true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps? Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat.
mean, Emmett kind of is pretty good at it too, or was.
And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association.
We need to just let him observe him.
That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
'Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
Yeah, we don't want to have a bunch of people following him. Then it'll be obvious we suspect him. Alright, it's about time for a break. I'm gonna check how far through MSQ we are. Let's see, that was... Okay, we're not quite halfway. We can get a little over halfway done today. But first... Oops. So I have sheath, right? That's not how you spell sheath. Yeah, let's sheath weapon. Sure, we'll go with that one. Alright, it's time for a break. Time to get up, stretch your legs, refill your drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to, and I'll be right back. Alright. Let's get back to it. But first, let's talk to everyone in the area, like I usually do. And then we'll talk to the Exarch. We must not act until Ardbert hath made plain his plans. It would be folly to proclaim him false at this juncture. We were a hair's breadth from defeat when we faced Emet-Selch, and now we must contend with yet another Ascian. We must tread carefully. I suspect it's not going to be an Ascian, or it's going to be an Ascian we've never met before. Because we saw this Ardbert at the end of 5.1, and he seemed very suspicious. I forget exactly what he said. What a despicable practice, appropriating corpses. Such depravity eclipses all horrors I witnessed in the age of Vobert. They must be stopped. Asleep disturbed, with furrowed brow, the Crystal Exarch deliberates your next move. You did well to dispel the falsehoods surrounding the Warriors of Light and their actions prior to the Flood. Though I must say, the reappearance of Ardbert, or rather, one who appropriated his identity, was a rather curious development. He is an impostor, of that there is no doubt, but to the masses he will appear as a hero returned from the grave. After the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore, the people prayed fervently for the gods to deliver them from their plight, prayed that these fallen heroes be born again for their sacrifices. What bitter irony. I, for one, would like to know why Ardbert urged the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. Ere we take action, we must needs ascertain his intent. Let us pray that Master Alphinaud returneth soon with that most essential knowledge. For now, I think it best to apprise Thancred and Reen of our efforts. When we do confront Ardbert, we shall no doubt have need of their strength. Agreed. I think it prudent we all take measures to prepare for what's to come. Becklug and I will continue our research into how we might improve the spirit vessel, that it might one day carry you home. I think it time I return to the Greatwood. Until now, everything we have learned of the Ascians has been handed to us at their leisure. But that was one of Emet-Selch's famous unique failings. I have no doubt to think Elidibus will be as forthcoming. Fortunately, I have received word from Fanau that heretofore unexplored chambers have been discovered deep within Gitana Rival. Alamut believes the relics within tell of a great calamity that befell in ancient civilizations, that of the Ascians, perhaps. They may lead us to the truths we seek. Would you care for company? I wouldn't dream of going without you. When you are ready, make for Fanau. Alamut and her sisters will be expecting us. Then let us be about our tasks. Pray give my regards to the Vice. Alright, let's head back to the Greatwood. Oh, let's talk to the Exarch and Beglug first. Though I would like to join you in untangling the Ascian's machinations, I think it best I stay here and devote my energies to finding a way to deliver the Scions back to the source. I will help the Exarch in any way I can, but the key to solving our problem lies with him and the Allegan Eye. Alright, we'll leave the nerds to have fun with their stuff, while we go and have some fun at the Greatwood. Wonder if the, what's his name? The Hrothgar guy that seemed to really like, Y'shtola. Wonder if they'll meet again. Or if it will just be, oh yeah, I guess we're just going to Finau. But I mean, yeah, we were going to check out the ruins. Anyway, let's go ahead and head up here and meet up with Y'shtola. Let us pray these new ruins are not as unwelcoming as the last. The allies of Ronka. My, it feels as if an age has passed since you last graced us with your presence. You look as if you haven't seen us in an age. Is the passage of time really all that different beyond the borders of the Great Wood? Welcome, allies of Ronka. We have accomplished much since last you came. With the Light Warden dead and its minions dispersed, we have at last reclaimed our hunting grounds near Raktika Falls. It was there we discovered more ruins, although we ran afoul of no traps while exploring its halls. We determined that the innermost chambers were warded by magic. We all were in agreement. Before any investigation could proceed, you should be summoned. We are grateful that you did. From what you have told me, I strongly suspect that the wisdom my comrades and I seek can be found within. This wisdom would prove invaluable for we may soon face a foe whose greatest asset is our ignorance. I see. Then it is good that you have come, for Ronka was once home to the greatest of weapons, knowledge and understanding. And it is our duty to ensure you and yours do not want for either. That said, we must proceed with caution. To have reached the inner chambers unmolested suggests a more formidable deterrent yet lies within. Come now, surely any threats sleeping within the ruins pale in comparison to those we have faced thus far. This is not a game, sister. You should not be so eager to run headlong into danger. Oh, and who was it pinning for the return of our allies that we might venture into the ruins, clutching her staff at night, wishing it were... Oh, you promised not to tell. So we got another simp on our hands. Then I suggest we be going. Get back here. Remind me, exactly how old are you and your sisters? On second thought, perhaps it's for the better, I do not know. Pray forgive their overzealous nature. None save we three have been privileged to escort you and yours into the ruins and bear witness to its secrets. Their hearts now burn with a curiosity that is not easily satiated. Please, you needn't apologize. As a seeker of knowledge myself, I understand full well their enthusiasm, and if not for your sedulous efforts to protect the ruins, we would not be afforded this opportunity. Speaking of which, I believe I have kept you away from the ruins long enough. Come, let us make for the Gitano Revolve. Looks like we got another simp on our hands. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that she's the youngest of the three. Then again, neither of the other two sisters are very, quote, mature, if you want to say that. Either way, let's see what these ruins have in store for us. Looks like this will be an instance. I'll go ahead and do this as warrior. Nah, I'll do it as dragoon. But first, talk to everyone else like usual. Even Emmett Selk was taken aback to find a mural illustrating the final days in these ruins. What other surprises do you suppose yet lie within? I feel oddly ill-equipped to venture inside, but with you here, I'm sure things will work out. Ready when you are! It is most strange for these halls to be left unguarded. Have care when breaking the seal on the chamber door. Danger surely awaits us on the other side. Recommended set aside sufficient time. Okay, we're gonna have some fun. Duty calls. Commence battle for a sleep disturbed.
Come. Our new discoveries are to be found this way.
The people of Ronka are known to have venerated animals, but these features do not match those of any indigenous species. This is no common beast. Though that much is plain from its proportions.
Lifelike, is it not? One could almost imagine it breathed.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Why you... Ugh.
This owl, by contrast, seems no different from the others we've seen.
Yeah, that's like the statue we've seen in the other ruins.
The sealed door lies ahead. As you see, one statue is missing. I expect we are meant to replace it as before.
And then a giant rock will come down like it last time. We'll go full Indiana Jones.
Too simple. There will be some additional defense mechanism. Just a moment. There are words carved into the stone. He who would disturb
Uh-oh.
a hero's deserved slumber.
Don't touch it. Don't touch
shall
it.
instead waken the beast and know
Of course they're gonna touch
his
it.
folly. Wait! Don't!
If someone says wait, don't continue what you're doing.
What? But I only... What is happening?
Well, time for some fun. Oh, that's weird.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It lives!
I only just noticed the chest
Why
there.
am I not surprised? Prepare yourselves.
Yeah, Shoal is used to it at this point. What? Okay. We're gonna play some triple triad or something? Trespass mortal upon sacred ground, in retribution for souls I have bound. Yet the heroes proven learned and wise, as comrade's soul shall be their prize. It would see there's fates free, answer me these riddles three. Deft of paw with kin do I vie, though sought the betterment of escorts, descry what am I? Let's see, deft of paw with kin do I vie. I mean, deft of paw sounds like it's a cat. Keen intruded merits ingenuity. Okay. Okay. Last time we had to do these kinds of riddles, I ended up just looking them up because I kept getting them wrong. With fearsome fangs I travel with pack together in harmony, thus for peace and land does not lack what am I? Fearsome fangs with the pack. Okay, well that's gonna be a wolf. On my belly do I crawl, by my strength does prosperity reign within our halls, what am I? It's probably going to be... serpent. Desire you that which I yet claim, and then we shall play another game. A test of mind and memory. Choose wisely, and you will all yet go free. Twixt these talismans hide friend and foe. Choose your companions well, or sorrow know. Okay, it's just memory. Yeah. That's how that's gonna work.
No mercy.
Okay, Stola. Oh, right, let's free her first. Then hope I can get Y'shtola in one of these three. Hey, there we go. That's all I needed. Well done. Your comrades are assembled together at last. Yet still there remains one trial you must pass. If you would glean the knowledge enshrined in this earth, I would first take the measure of your worth. Yeah, so we gotta fight it. One worthy of she who the Ronkas extolled must be strong of mind, body, and soul. Oh, yeah. Wrong button.
I will not hold back.
This is gonna take forever.
Here I come.
Come on, you're messing up my cooldowns. Wonder if this is going to be part of the mechanics for the dungeon. Can get hit by this. That was the wrong button, but whatever.
I will not hold back.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. They have, okay. For a second, with the angle of that feather, I thought that they all had tails for some reason. Not wholly unexpected, but an exhausting ordeal nonetheless. That's a pretty good way to summarize that.
Twould seem the magics have returned us. How polite.
How polite.
Now, what have we learned?
Ah, we were bound to run into a living statue eventually. And now we can open the door.
I mean, she's not wrong.
He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber.
Who dis?
A tomb, just as I thought. Befitting a hero.
She is Vis. Could it be the Archmage Tiuna?
Please explain.
A legendary hero of Ronka, as you surmised. The tales tell of how she smote entire armies with a single incantation, so potent was her spellcraft. Though she ever fought in the name of peace.
Doesn't everyone?
I thought them no more than tales. To think she really existed.
Well, I for one always believed.
I wonder. By the light of fallen stars, great power awakens.
Tiuna was not only a master of spellcraft. It is said she could see truths long lost and hear the voices of men's hearts.
An echo?
Not less than
Yeah.
an echo. In which case, none of this is mere coincidence. A shower of stars setting the sky aflame. And in both this world and the Source, we find individuals within whom a mysterious power awakened at the sight. We can never unpick the why of it. Now, however, I believe we might. Does the scene depicted here not resemble the one we saw when we first ventured into the Katana Ravel?
Yeah, with the stars.
Moreover, does it not recall that which Emmett Selk invited us to witness in Amarot? The final days. If, as the Exarch's research suggests, soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond, might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul that it could be perceived eons later, given a suitable trigger? The echo defies explanation by conventional etherological theory, or shall we say modern etherological theory. But if it is a power that once belonged to the ancients, to souls yet undivided, it would seem I have entered the realm of pure speculation, and I call myself a scholar. I shall refrain from making any further wild claims until such time as I have evidence. Still, I cannot choose but be reminded of our experience in Amarot.
I mean, it does seem similar, but like, how is she gonna be connected to this?
Remember us.
History is learned, not lived. We have always protected the tales of Ronka, just as we have protected this place. But we are mindful of what our mothers taught us. We see the past through our own eyes, and speak of it with our own words. Thus do we come to understand it in our own way. But this is not the same as remembering.
Your mothers were wise. Though we witnessed the final days, our impressions cannot fail to be colored by our own experiences and expectations. Those who lived through it would have perceived the event quite differently. We must bear in mind that it is no simple matter to keep the truth alive, or it will die with Emmett Selk and his kin. But we have disturbed Tiuna long enough. Fanau will serve similarly well as a venue for our contemplations.
Yeah, let's head on back. I'm actually a bit tired today, and I have to leave on time, so I don't know how much more I'll do after this quest. This is about the halfway point. Oh, okay, it's just gonna teleport us back. Talk to everyone first, like usual. We learned nothing of the Asians, but the potential link between the Echo and a preternatural star showers is intriguing. Tiuna is the reason I took up spellcraft, you know. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine her tomb would be found, let alone that we would be the ones to have the honor to do so. I sorely underestimated the defenses of these ruins. Perhaps Simet was right to urge caution. By your pensive expression, I take it the tomb has given you much to think about. That is well. In time, the knowledge you have gleaned will lead to understanding, and thus arm you with what is to come. Before you leave, however, I would speak again of the teachings of our forebears, of histories learned, not lived. The legend of Tiona and her exploits has been told countless times over the centuries. Yet, as it is handed from one generation to the next, the story changes. With each telling of the tale, there is new flourishes, details changed or lost. We can never truly know how she lived, for we were not there to see it. But we are here now to bear witness to your life. We have seen the change you have wrought, the echoes that will endure long after you are gone. And though it too will change in time, I swear to you, we shall do our best to preserve your story. Well, thanks. I hope you'll forgive me if I don't make an oath of my word, but I think it goes without saying we could never misspeak of your heroism. Perish the thought. So long as we are here, there are none among the Vis who will not know of all you have done for Nobrand. We are not deserving of such reverence, but we are grateful all the same. You can be certain we will have our own tales to tell of the great guardians of Raktika and the ruins of Ronka. I pray you safe travels then. As ever, we shall await your return with open arms. Alright, let me look and see how far. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we did 5 of the 10 quests. Yep, so that's about halfway done with 5.1 or 5.2. I think I'm going to call it here. It's actually would normally almost be time for a break. But I'm a bit tired today. And like I said before, I need to leave on time. I'm going to need to finish up on time and not go over for too long. So I'm going to wrap it up here. We got about halfway through 5.2. And we will continue on with it tomorrow. I'm going to stream tomorrow. I missed 2 Sundays. The past 2 Sundays I didn't stream. This one I'm going to make sure I do. With that, that's all for today. Hope you had a good time, and I'll see you tomorrow.